Alright, guess I gotta do another one. I've done enough of these that I figure everyone got the picture or knows what's up. You have to have not any common sense or fight with everything you have to be as retarded as you could be to not get it by now. As far as what's what. So either you're totally satanic if you follow the Dems at all and listen to their crap, Schumer, Pelosi, Waters, or either you're totally satanic and you want Satan to win and you're fighting for Satan's ways, or you're just completely freaking retarded and you love being retarded. Because if you never sit and think at all, which I'm just going to say it, this is how women are. Women think that if something comes to their mind, just comes to their mind, that means they thought about it forever. You always hear women saying, I thought this or I just thought that. It's like, really, how much time did you spend thinking? How much time did you really sit and figure that out? Well, I just thought. What do you mean you just thought? You mean it came to your mind? It just came to your mind? Sadly, there's a bunch of guys like that nowadays too. That wasn't the case before when we were younger. Guys actually thought about whatever the hell came to mind to figure it out. And I've come across them, and they don't want to hear the truth because the truth is too hard. They want to live in fairy tale land where everything is unicorns and daisies. And you can't tell them what's what no matter what. They'll cut you off in a second and just keep pushing lie after lie after lie. And then I just say, you know what? Lucifer's just waiting for you, man. Because that's all they got to do. If you sit and think, why are they doing what they're doing? Coming off of the craziest, most in-the-ass, satanic piece of crap stuff and trying to push it off as truth, you actually have to, if you got a brain at all, you have to sit and think, why? Why are they actually doing this? What are they getting out of it? It's like, a woman giving birth, she's about to give birth to a child. The baby's alive. It just isn't outside the womb yet because the baby's been kicking forever. That isn't like nothing going on. And if you look into abortion at all, and you look at how, I'm not a doctor, I don't know all the terms, but when they first bust open the bag, the baby's in. The baby will jerk, jump, and the baby knows something drastically is wrong, and will start kicking and moving and everything to try to get away from what's up because it knows it's about to be murdered. The baby knows I'm about to be freaking murdered. And they've even, I've looked into this, and there's been a bunch of eons of cases, who knows how many, where the baby was grown enough that it had vocal cords. And it screamed, and you could hear the baby screaming from inside the womb. Now tell me that baby's not alive. But yet the Democrats have to have as many as possible. They fight with all they have, and they lie their ass off with everything they have. They call it health care. They try to act like the woman being pregnant is like having a disease. We have to hurry up and get the baby out. She's going to die. This is health care. If she's pregnant, man, that baby's going to kill her. Like it's, the plague or cancer or something. That's how they act. And you have to sit and think, why? Why do they want that and have to have it and lie their ass off and twist the facts and everything? I ran into one. This girl, that I thought she was totally straight up and totally cool. And that subject came up and she just kept cutting me off. No, Planned Parenthood only does health care. They only do one abortion in forever. And she was hell-bent. She was all, no. And I'm like, holy crap, are you kidding me? And this is someone that I thought had their head together. Which I found she had her head so far up her ass. I'm just like, you know what? You could claim you're Christian all day and night. But there are people, even here on YouTube, that they've died and God had them see hell. Because he's like, you know what? These people aren't getting it. These people are so far off in freaking nowhere land. And they don't even want to look for how the hell to get back to where they're supposed to get to make it. They just want to act like, being so far away from God as they could possibly get is totally cool and okay. Someone needs to do something to wake them up that, hey, being out there is going to be your ass. Flat out bottom line. And so like I was just saying, there's people that have died. God, Christ, Christ is God. Of this planet, at least for those who somehow don't get that. And he isn't doing this for no reason. He didn't create all this planet and everything just for the hell of it. There's a, ultimate there is no bigger thing there is. The biggest thing there is the reason we're here and what he created this planet for and all that. And, that's to make it to heaven, because if you don't make it there, then all you got to do is look in the Bible, as far as where you're going to end up. But these people have died and went to hell and came back and told everybody, hey, you don't got a choice. Either you accept Christ and follow him, or, you don't even have a clue how bad it is, But these people think, what? Okay, let me just get back to square one. If you think why they're doing this, it shouldn't take, if you have any common sense, it shouldn't take hardly any time at all to realize these people sold their souls. Pelosi, Schumer, Harry Reid back in the day, which he's still in those shoes, they may front themselves as Christians, but like I said, yes, that's what I was saying with that, or the point I was wanting to get to. There's a bunch of them that have died, and they've gone to hell, been shown hell, and they saw people there that thought they were Christian, that they believed in Christ, but yet they were in hell. And these people are like, wait a minute, aren't these people Christian, man? They knew some of them or something like that. And Christ was like, no, they said they were Christian, but they didn't follow me. They followed Lucifer. There's no such thing as saying, oh yeah, Jesus is God, and Christ is the Son of God, and yada yada yada. Now I'm going to go hoe and pimp and skank and lie and cheat and scam and whatever. No, the very first thing to getting into heaven is accepting Christ. That's like the first thing. The rest of it is you got to live by the rules. Live by his commandments. He didn't I'm just going to lay out these commandments for nothing. For no reason at all. I'm just saying it for nothing whatsoever, and you could just go be the biggest piece of crap you want to be, biggest two-faced, lying, hypocritical piece of crap there is, and you'll make it to heaven. I know there's people out there teaching that. People out there saying, all you got to do is accept Christ and that's it. And then everything else, club your mother in the freaking face. All day and night. And it don't matter, because all you got to be able to say is on the last second, yay Jesus, and that's it. You're going to make it. So that's the reason I'm doing this, because there's just so many people pushing these false, not even facts. They're fake news. And now I even see the conservative talk show guys doing it. I see guys like Limbaugh and, Michael Savage, these guys that are supposed to be straight up 100%, sitting there saying, oh, well, Pelosi and them really think this is the right thing, or they hate Trump so bad, this is why they just hate him so much. It's like, no, they were totally buddies with Trump before. Now he's in charge. And what it is they sold their souls, Pelosi, Schumer, Waters, Maxine Waters, the rest of them, and they're getting told by Lucifer, hey, you stop this in any way whatsoever. I don't care what you do, or I'll kill you right now and take you into hell. The only reason I have you up there, is so you can still do my work. So as long as they're getting people, more souls to follow them into hell. See, they're already damned. Pelosi and Waters and all them, they're already damned. And that's why they're freaking out the way they are, because Lucifer has told them, since Trump won, hey, if you aren't going to hand this country over to me, so I could basically it's in prophecy. It's the last days. These are the last days, like the last seconds of the last days is what's up. The horns of Revelation chapter 8, you read them, they've already went off. There's videos on here too of, strange sounds in the sky, of all over the world. And those are the horns. And to be honest, I've heard them myself, and the Spirit told me that that's what they were. And anyways, that's a whole nother story. It's like a long story telling all the details. But they've gone off. The horns, the signs of the last days have happened. Christ could come right this very second. And that's where we are. And just like it says, Lucifer's time is short, and he's going to pull every prank, every piece of crap thing, and he's convinced them that they're going to win. He's lied to them in every which way, and they've believed it because, they're that weak. And it's like all those that followed Lucifer in the first place. He told them, you follow me, you'll become bigger and you'll have more power than God and you'll this and you'll that. And they believed them. They're like, we don't care about what's right and wrong. All we care about is having all the power and riches and everything ourselves. So yeah, we'll go to war against God, Well, look where their asses are now, And then there's other people that think that if they do Lucifer's work, if they do enough of it, enough evil, that when they get to hell, they're going to sit at his table, they're going to be privileged. And that's one thing that's great about YouTube. YouTube is ran by Satanists, but they're allowing the truth from what I see to get out as well. They're like letting the battle go. Where Twitter, they're ran by total Satanists and they're blocking people. They're just shutting people's, pages down that are Christian. YouTube, if you don't know this, you don't know anything. They're blocking everybody that's Christian while they're letting people, that say stuff about murdering Christians keep their pages on, and they're not shutting them down or nothing like that. So pretty much Satan's people are everywhere. They're in colleges, they're in our justice system, they're, judges, they're, police officers, they're, prosecutors. Like this case where this 5-year-old girl gets gang raped by three Muslim kids. This 5-year-old girl gets gang raped by 3 Muslim kids. The judge in the case and the prosecutor go off on the little girl's parents, saying, who the hell do you think you are? Trying to get these kids locked up. I mean, what, you think you're special? Their little girl, and she got raped every which way there was. And she got raped, I'll just say that, in every way there was. They pissed on her, they pissed in her mouth, and they videotaped it. One of them had a phone, and he recorded on his phone. What did the little Muslim kid's dad do? He celebrated with him. He's like, high five, bro. Yeah, look what you did to the infidel. Did you hear about that hardly in the media? I've come across endless people that don't even know that. Even people that live in Idaho. I've come across people that even live in Idaho and they never even heard about it. And it was in Twin Falls, Idaho that it happened. And that didn't hardly get any play. It barely got mentioned. Same with that cop, that Muslim cop that killed that girl in Minnesota. I mean, that came out and they hurry up, swept that under the rug as fast as they could get it. She's got some guy, this girl in Minnesota, sitting on the wall of her backyard. She calls the cops to come, see what the hell this guy's up to. They wouldn't even get out of the car. She had to walk out there in her pajamas and try talking to the cops. And while she's sitting there talking to him, this Muslim piece of crap cop pulls his gun and just unloads it on her, kills her. How many of you didn't hear about that? How about Shannon Christian and Christopher Newsom in Knoxville, Tennessee, where some blacks, 4 or 5 or 6 of them, kidnapped this couple, tortured them both, raped them both for days on end. I think it even went on for, it could have been up to 2 weeks, because the stories are all mixed, because, Al Sharpton and them are out there saying, you better not say nothing, or we'll come by your house in the middle of the night and shoot it up, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. Which is why Al Sharpton's not as popular as he is, because he's been busted doing that. Threatening people with, you better not say nothing. If someone black kidnaps your kid, chops them up and kills them and tortures them, you better not say nothing, because we'll come back later. We'll get other brothers to come back around and, torture your house or do that to another one of your kids or whatever. Anyways, Christopher Newsom and Shannon Christian, yeah, they got kidnapped, raped for days on end, tortured. And finally, when someone called it in, the cops went there and, Christopher, he was like, they raped him, they beat him to death, raped him before and after, threw his body on the railroad tracks and set it on fire and, hoped that would, destroy the evidence. Shannon, the girl, they found her in pieces in garbage cans in this drug-filled house. You guys hear about that at all? How much you hear about that? How much did they cover that? Now, Stormy Daniels comes out and says, I'm a complete gutter ass rank skank hoe and Trump banged me 10 years ago. Nothing but. You don't hear nothing but. Forever. They're just going off. Look what he did to her. Look what he did to her. She's so strong and she's such a good person. And respect on Stormy Daniels. She's just a respectable girl. Nothing but. Over and over and over and over. That tells you who these people are. That tells you straight up who these people are. It's flat out Satanists. And if you want to end up in hell with them, please. I can't wait till God cash you there. In fact, I wish he would just cash you there right now. Just end your life and cash you there right now. But after what I saw today, with Trump meeting with Putin, I mean, good thing these two are as even killed as they are, at least Trump, because Putin, I think he's getting older, so he's a little more even killed. But, I mean, Putin's history is he's going to burn as soon as he dies. There's so much. But this media, and actually all the Satanists, including those in the Republican Party, like John McCain, that are screaming and crying, no matter what Trump did, they were going to scream and cry. If Trump and Putin today in this meeting, let's like Jesus showed up and he cured all the diseases and raised the dead and parted oceans and the heavens came down, yada yada, they'd be sitting there going, see what a prick Donald Trump is? What an asshole. What a freaking asshole. Look what he did. That's what they were going to do no matter what. Because they sold their souls and they're Satanists and Trump's a Christian, even though he has this shady past, like Samson. If you read the Bible and you read the story of Samson, Samson didn't exactly walk on water and, marry only one virgin, and that was it. He played. But that's Trump's thing. Trump's like, hey, look, I'm in this position now. This is like holy ground. It's the same thing Reagan was. Reagan was like, look, this is holy ground. We're going to wear suits and ties now, where before everybody was more relaxed, wore jeans and shirts and whatever. But when he got in the White House, it was like, hey, this is holy ground. And that's how Trump is. And they're freaking out because of that. Because, like I said, these are the last days. Lucifer's time is short. It could be done this very second. Because once Christ comes, that's it. Lucifer's gone. He's going to the pit forever. There was a bunch of speculation on that, on the tribulation and so on. But still, that's what's up. And he knows it. And he's told all of his people, I don't care what you look like. I don't care how big the lie is. I don't care how crazy it is. You tell it. Because to be honest, the worse the lie is, the crazier it is, and the more people follow, well, that just damns their soul all the more. And that's what he's got them here for. When Maxine Waters goes out and says, when you see them in a restaurant, and you see them out, and you get a crowd, and you push back on them, what do you think she's really doing? Anybody that does that follows her, is damning their soul. Is basically telling God, screw you, all I care about is lies. Any lie they come up with just because I love lies and I just want to talk crap. That's it. F the truth. The truth, F that. That's what they're telling God. And believe me, he's marking it down because there is a book of life. And if your name ain't in it, you ain't making it. You may think you're being funny now or cool or whatever. Some of these retards that actually think Trump was at the border, top secret, invisible style. They got a new way to make people invisible. But since, Trump's the president, he's like, okay, well, just use it on me so I can run down to the border and just steal everybody's babies. And I'm just going to steal them, just kidnap them and run away. And no one's going to see nothing ever again. And here, God, man, the Holy Democrats, they caught wind of that. Man, they actually caught wind that Trump was down there stealing babies and just running away. And that was it. The family was broke up forever. I mean, the people that follow this stuff, I'm like, you fight to be as retarded as you could be. That's what you do. The facts, the truth, any of that, you don't care about that. You can't stand it. You can't stand the truth. Because people that, once you start telling the truth and they cut you off as soon as you start talking because they don't want the truth to be said, all they want is lies to be said, that's one of Lucifer's. Lucifer's got him. If I was Trump today, because some freaking retard says, are you going to turn to Putin right now and tell Putin no? Just no. When it comes to getting in our election, just don't you do it. That's what they're expecting. They're doing anything to get Trump to validate their crap. If Trump did anything to validate it, they'd be, oh, see, he admits it's real. I mean, there's not one microscopic bit of fact anywhere that any of this is true. That, this Russian collusion thing. First off, everybody has said, Comey has said, Rosenstein has said, I don't even know who else, that there's no law against collusion. Besides, you want to talk about collusion. Well, actually, their thing is that Russia tried to overthrow our election, which anybody with a functioning brain knows that nobody voted because of Russia, one way or another. You know, anything that anybody found out was the truth. Hillary, having her server in some like place that some back alley kids could break into and get into. I mean, here's like a little bit of new info that some Middle Eastern kids, trying to track down whatever hacking, got into her server and found where Christopher Stevens was staying, and that was like the beginning of him getting murdered. But actually, I think it's bigger than that. I think Sean purposely leaked it for that reason, because they were running guns through his embassy to Al Qaeda to try to overthrow Assad, because they want to do this caliphate where all those countries are like one country, so they're like United States of Islam is what it is. And that's what Obama was going for with everything he had. Obama and Hillary have broken so many laws, it's not even funny. They should be on death row is where they should be. But here again, the Satanists, they got like a million different ways. Like when their people commit like a serious hardcore crime, whether it's Fast and Furious or Extortion 17, where they set Navy SEALs up to be murdered, they set them up to be murdered. Benghazi, and I mean all the other stuff. $6 billion disappearing from the State Department. They do it. They fight with all they have to cover that up. But yet Trump gets into office, and they do anything they can to get him taken out. They just make up crap, lie. It's like if this one guy, he was sitting there asking somebody. I think it's I don't know. I don't follow this like 100%, so I know all the names and everything with everybody. But some guy was getting confirmation for the State Department or something, and one of the Democrats is like, well, aren't you going to admit that Trump is guilty of this collusion and trying to overthrow? And I'm like, you know what? If I was him, I would have just said, you know what? You're guilty of a gagabibi. That's right. Of all crimes, you are guilty of a gagabibi. And you know you did it. Now all I need is to have 24/7 media going off of a gagabibi, you did it, you did it, you did it. And that's it. And you'd have to be put away for life. Because all I got to do is make up stuff. If I make something up and I make it look like it's the worst thing ever, you got to go. We got to hang you right now. Drag you outside by the hair and throw the rope around your neck, and that's it. Kick you off the step. And that's what it is with these people. They're just making up crap like out of the blue, and trying to make it sound like it's the worst thing ever. And the retards out there are falling for it. They're just, yes, Trump is stealing babies. He's got them all somewhere. And nobody knows where they are. They don't think for a second that the policy is what's going on now to make sure these kids aren't kidnapped, to make sure what's really going on. What's going on during Obama, his whole presidency, and same with Bush and who knows how far back. Because, what, you guys think no one's ever been kidnapped? I mean, that's in the Bible about, if you kidnap somebody, you should be put to death. I mean, it's happened back then, clear back in biblical days. So kidnappings have been happening for a little while. And if you think it's just barely right now, this second, that someone showed up at the border with someone else's kid, there you go. Fighting with all you have to be a retard. To be as stupid as you could possibly get. That's all you are. And so anyways, what they're trying to do is make Trump do anything that they can that's wrong to get him to twist to do things their way, and they're just going to nag and nag and nag and nag until they get it. And luckily, Trump's got the strength. Bush didn't. Bush caved down. I mean, he bent over like a back alley hoe, which is why you didn't hear as much. They set up the economic collapse. Cheney and Rove tried to stop it. Pelosi was the House Speaker at the time. She wouldn't even let it be brought to the floor. Cheney finally said, look, if you're only going to let it be brought to the floor when this whole thing's collapsed, it's on you. And Pelosi said, no, it's not going to collapse. There's no way. But if it does, I'll take responsibility. And they left it at that. What happened when the collapse happened? Bush did it. And which is what they do. I mean, the Democrats have been running on Mein Kampf since it was written. There's a lady that actually she was a little girl in one of the concentration camps, and she survived it, and she's older now. I don't know where she is, but anyway, she does a speech. It's another video on YouTube here, where she says, when Obama became president, and I started hearing him say certain things, it reminded me of Hitler. And then after a few, it was like, this is Mein Kampf. He's using Mein Kampf. And that's what the Democrats use. I can't remember his name, the guy that, wrote Rules for Radicals. He dedicates his book to Satan and Hillary, and the Democrats are like, hey, this guy is my idol. Saul Alinsky, that's his name. They tell you straight out that they're Satanists. That's who they work for, is Satan. And if you're stupid enough to keep following them, well, go ahead, follow them right into hell. Anyways, what I heard today, after Trump, meeting with Putin, because like I said, this is a tinderbox. We could have serious worldwide problems if we, seriously get into something with Russia. They still got the nukes, they could still launch them. And there's enough of them that it's that much of a problem to try to stop them all, if we really go there. It could be, if you all think Iraq and Afghanistan was a mess at all, going to full-on war with Russia would freaking cream your crop. Let me tell you, we could take them out, and we might even be able to take them out quick. But there's that risk of not being able to, and it turning into a real war, that lasts, which would just, whatever, the devastation. Then the Democrats, of course they're going to lie and, it's not our fault, it's Trump's fault, Trump's the one. They'll push for it and push for it and push for it, but if they get it, like they did on 9/11, because that's what they do. They make sure every disaster happens, whether it's a bubble, financial bubble breaking and basically wiping out our economy, or 9/11, where they insist, no, we have to let them in the country, we have to let them in, you can't kick them out no matter what. 9/11 happens, then they always try to hurry up and cover up that it was them. That economic collapse, Bush did it. Well, how did Bush do it? I mean, if you're that stupid to think that Bush was working behind everybody, nobody saw him. He was so fast, he was lightning fast. He's like as fast as that guy, the Flash, And so he did all this stuff, by himself, and just nobody saw him. Nobody could, but he's the one that did it, nobody else. He's the one. If you're that stupid, then, I just can't wait till Lucifer has you. Because the only thing Bush did was finally he just gave up. And, and actually they nagged him about getting rid of this security division of the SEC, which is supposed to be investigating all that crap. So he shut him down to where it was one person. One person to turn on the lights in the morning and turn them off at night. And they must have paid him off for it. And which is why he's all covered now, and which is why he's one of them. He stands against Trump in every way he can because he sold his soul with him. Just because you're a Republican or say you're a Christian don't mean freaking dink. If you don't stand and be counted, like it says, you ain't gonna make it. He may think, like a bunch of other people, hell's full of world leaders. People that were powerful, kings and queens and, presidents or whatever, people that think, well, I'm this person, And there's a verse of that. There's a verse of that too in the Bible, that there are many people of highest of power that are in hell. They got this thing, well, I was this person or that person. I'm not going to hell. I'm too big. I'm too this or too that. Hell no. You're going to hell just like the rest. You're judged by what you do. Not who you think you are or how big time you think you are. And for those that think hell will never be full, that's a verse too. In the Bible it says, there's those that think hell will be full by the time they get there. No, hell will never be full. It says that flat out. So you can cancel that one off too. But if I was Trump, and this freaking reporter said, are you going to tell Putin to just, you don't do it no more? I would have Putin said, Mr. President, I have to double, quadruple, umpteen oodle ask you to quadruple, zuple, duple promise that, now this is the big time promise, right? The biggest one there is, okay? Now with the biggest one there is, on top of everything your mother can cook, and just everything, promise that you will not let Hillary win anything ever again. Nothing. Okay? We got the agreement, right? Hold my hand out and shake his hand. Because we got the agreement, right? Okay, if we both die, and she tries to, like, win something at a Taco Bell, you come back from the dead and you get her. You stop it. Okay? You do it, because you know that we just can't have that. We just did, nuh-uh. That's what I would do, straight up. I'd make such freaking idiots of them. And of course they'd go ballistic, like they are. They're like saying this, Trump picked the KGB over the CIA. Here's where the retards get to crank that They need to like have a crank on the side of their head. Like, oh, I need to get more stupid. How do I get more stupid? You know, because the CIA has nothing to do with this investigation. This Russian collusion thing. You know, Comey, was he the head of the CIA or the FBI? And Rosenstein, is he part of the Justice Department or the CIA? They don't even know what they're talking about. But then again, there once upon a time was a guy named Jesus. And there was these other group of people that were supposed to be the most supreme, extreme, superior beings. And they were called the Sanhedrin. And as far as everybody was concerned, the Sanhedrin was it. You just couldn't get above Sanhedrin. Not unless you were God himself. They were it. Christ comes along, sees who and what they're all about, and tells them, y'all ain't freaking dank. You ain't nothing. In fact, there's people out here way lesser than you, being poor and whatever, that you think are nothing. They're going to get into heaven before you. And of course, that steamed their crop. They were freaking furious. They were looking for his head in any way they could get it. And he told them that in the temple with mass people around. This is the same thing. Our CIA, FBI, Department of Justice, they're all corrupt. Ran by Satanists. And all you got to do is sit and look at what they're doing and think of why. What's the real reason why? What's the real flat out bottom reason why? Now, if you don't know prophecy, then you probably won't be able to put it together because you don't know freaking half of nothing. At least as far as what's going on in this world. Prophecy is once the whole world becomes, they get a one government for the whole world, the Antichrist is going to step into power, take over, and then he's going to use all of the world's resources against Israel to take Israel out.